This is Sucheta Dalal from Money Life. We're going to talk today about a study commissioned by Money Life Foundation which examined orders of the Securities and Exchange Board of India and what happens when they go to the appellate tribunal. Now, we as investors are often frustrated at how the market regulator fails to initiate quick and deterrent action even when the most brazen price manipulation, insider trading and disclosure lapses are actively discussed on social media. So the question that's always asked is, what is SEBI doing? But for those of us who follow the regulatory action rather closely, there's something else that is equally frustrating. In fact, in many cases, even when the market regulator acts against wrongdoers, they end up with smart, expensive lawyers and then have their penalties waived or drastically reduced at the appellate tribunal. Now, this is a perception. So we decided at Money Life Foundation that it's time to study it and verify it. And we commissioned a study. The study was done by two students of the National Law School, Odisha. They are Siddharth Patnaik and Shivani Patnaik. More importantly, the study was mentored by Advocate P.R. Ramesh, who has over 25 years experience with capital markets, a long stint at SEBI, positions as compliance officer, and now practices before the High Court as well as SAT. So he has both sides of the picture and is sympathetic to both of them. What we did at the study to make it current is that we examined cases between 2019 and 21 and took up 30 important cases for a closer look. Now, the findings are shocking, and they bring out the fact that people seem to file appeals because it benefits them and it probably helps them dilute the action against them. Findings are worrying and they certainly impact investor confidence, which is what we expected and which was verified. What is very disturbing is that SAT orders, remember SEBI is 30 years old. It is one of the first independent regulators. The appellate tribunal was started soon enough. By now, it ought to have built credible jurisprudence and clear legal precedents on what is excessive action, what is, fair action. But nothing of that sort seems to have happened. In fact, orders are capricious. SAT doesn't explain itself, and SEBI needs a lot of oversight because many of its orders actually deserve to be shut down. So problems on both sides and very few disincentives for violating rules, lots of incentives for filing an appeal. What the students did is they looked at the annual report of 2019-20, which showed a sharp increase in the number of appeals that have been filed, which again brings out the fact that file an appeal is beneficial, even when the penalties are as low as 5 lakhs. And we know that in most cases, lawyers' fees itself are very high. People like to file an appeal and pay that price so that they have nothing against their name. Unfortunately, many SAT orders show a complete lack of understanding of how market penalties are decided. Capital market penalties, the very fact that they are supposed to be steep, has a clear thought process behind it. It is that when the penalty is so high, it's a multiple of the gains that you have made through illegal actions or cutting corners, then your incentive for wrongdoing vanishes. Which is why when it comes to capital market or financial crime, high penalties are prescribed and they are important. Unfortunately, SAT orders find it excessive. They don't even seem to understand it. According to me, one of the reasons is that SAT was set up as a specialized body. It hears cases from the pension regulator, equities, commodities, so capital market as well as insurance. And yet, many of the members don't have long, relevant experience and understanding of securities law. Many of them have even been bankers. And how do you expect them to suddenly understand capital market issues for the 2 years or 3 years that they are at the SAT? Here's a table that we are showing, which show you appeals pending. They have increased from the previous year, 18-19, from 217 to 379. The number of appeals during the year has jumped from 400 to 630. You can see the rest of the tables. The number of appeals allowed seem to have increased, but the number of appeals pending at the end of the year are also high. Now, our study has looked at unfair trade practices, disclosure lapses, as well as the few cases where there are fiduciary responsibilities and actions affect a large number of investors. Issues that need to be fixed urgently need by the government to foster investor confidence. Now, how does that happen? It can happen if somebody is watching over SEBI's shoulder and questioning the regulator. When there are questions raised by SAT against adjudicating officers, is there ever an inquiry? In fact, there are some cases which have been thrown out or have penalties reduced only because they dragged on forever. Now, in my experience of tracking SEBI, it remains a chairman-dominated and chairman-driven organization, which means that when cases are fast-tracked or they are put on the back burner, it is usually because of instructions on the top. So unless regulatory accountability starts right at the top, and there are questions from the SEBI board as well as Parliamentary Committee on Finance, nothing is going to change. So we've shown you the 30 companies in this table, which we're going to put up right now. The complete study has been put up on Moneylife Foundation's website, and we're going to show you a link, but really just go to the foundation website and Google and you'll get it. Now, let me quickly go through some headers of what our study has found. One, SAT, the appellate tribunal, is benevolent. In fact, it's like this very nice grandfather which actually helps a naughty child by talking to the parents and either saying don't punish it for its naughtiness or let it off. That is not the role of the Securities Appellate Tribunal, but that's how it comes across from some of the orders that we are narrating. So let's look at one case that stands out. Kalpana Chedda versus SEBI 2019 case. SEBI actually established illegal gains through market manipulation in Zodiac Ventures of the value of 35.5 lakhs. Now, what happened when it went to SAT? It slashed the penalty to 22 lakh, which means it actually left her a profit. So, while upholding it, far from the penalty being so crushing that she has a disincentive to repeat the problem, people who are reading this case probably have an incentive to say, okay, so what will SEBI do? Our orders will drag on, we will appeal, and it's still profitable. Similar action has been seen from SAT in the Bharti Goyal case, the Tanuj Khandelwal case, Indusphere Industries. In fact, that was a repeat of Sahara. It's crazy. There was a path-breaking order in August 2012 about collective investment schemes which masqueraded as redeemable preference shares and debentures. It went to the Supreme Court. There was this huge judgment. So what does Indusphere do? It had already collected 33 crore from 32,000 plus investors. And after this order, it got worried and it decided to refund the money. So when SEBI imposed a penalty of 1 crore, SAT decided benevolently that it was excessive since the company had suo motu stopped mobilizing funds. Had it really? Or was it worried by the Supreme Court order and the fact that SEBI was put in charge of collective investment schemes and it would have gone after it? Another case of Ganesh Singhania versus SEBI, regulator found failure to disclose significant acquisition and a public announcement that ought to have been made, which actually led to a loss which SEBI has quantified at 65 lakhs. So it correctly imposed a crushing penalty of 2 crore. SAT slashed the penalty and decided that although it was a serious offence leading to actual loss to investors, there was no need for the penalty to be so high. Case of PG Electroplast, SAT dubbed this a technical violation and slashed SEBI's penalty. It called SEBI's action grossly disproportionate to alleged misconduct. Actually, the point is that SEBI is not supposed to give you a rap on the knuckles. It is supposed to create a powerful disincentive not only for this particular person but signal to the market that you should not break the rules because the punishment is going to be so high, it's going to be a multiple of what you earned. SAT doesn't seem to understand it. There are innumerable cases, I'm not going to talk about them, we'll put them in the ticker below, but better still, read the memorandum because you will see what happens. Now here's another interesting case. It's like double jeopardy. What is double jeopardy? You know that a person cannot be tried for the same offense twice. And believe it or not, SEBI did this in a case involving notorious Nirmal Kotecha. Nirmal Kotecha, if you want to Google and go back even to our articles, you will see that he had even faked a SEBI press release, got a journalist involved in it, action was taken against a reporter from the Economic Times. This is a case that should have had the most intense scrutiny by the regulator. And it made waves a long time ago, 2011, I think. What did SEBI do? It conducted 2 parallel investigations. It debarred him from the market for 2 years for fraudulent trades and creating artificial volumes in certain scripts. This happened in March 2018. Another adjudicating officer earlier had investigated the same matter and said that the problem was minuscule and there was no fraudulent intent and had let him off. How on earth does this happen? Same regulatory body. I mean, SAT of course questioned the parallel investigation and said that if that was already quashed, the law of estoppel applies and you cannot try the same person on identical facts under 2 different sections of SEBI. This was happening a lot in the past. In SEBI, hopefully it has stopped after Nirmal Kotecha, but he gets away, right? How shocking is this? Now, what happened to the adjudicating officer who had let him off the first time? These are questions that never seem to be raised. Who should raise them? Obviously, the Administrative Ministry, the Finance Ministry, or like I keep harping, the Parliamentary Committee. There has to be accountability. Now, let's come to social media because that's where all the insider trading news is spread, right? We wonder what SEBI does. So here's what SEBI did in the case of Shruti Vohra. She worked with a brokerage firm. SEBI found that she had forwarded some WhatsApps to clients, and this included insider information about a company, and some of it was absolutely accurate and circulated before the results were announced. So where did the inside information come from? The regulator investigated, it checked phones, laptops, dozens of messages, and guess what? It discovered that she had forwarded plenty of messages, some of which had absolutely accurate results, some did not. What is worse, the case just fell apart because SEBI could not trace the origin of the message that had come to her and had been forwarded. So it actually was catching a messenger who worked for a brokerage firm, and with all the investigation on social media, it came to zero. And this is when SEBI is properly empowered and has technology to look at real-time tracking. So isn't this an incentive for people to do what they want to on social media, confident in the fact that SEBI has yet to prove that it can trace the origin of messages? It's a pity. Hasty and vindictive action is another thing that has come up in the study. This is rather infamous case of Udayant Malhotra of Dynamatic Technologies. It's a crazy case because after the lockdown in 2020, SEBI issued an ex parte order without giving a hearing to Mr. Udayant Malhotra, asking him to disgorge over 3 crore rupees for a transaction that, believe it or not, happened in 2016. The order was passed by one of the senior-most SEBI officials, a whole-time member who's been with the regulator almost ever since inception. Ought to know better. Now, SAT obviously struck it down and said there's absolutely no need for such haste and an ex parte order be issued without hearing him. SEBI went to the Supreme Court, obviously to back its official. It was snubbed again. Now, shouldn't there be an investigation on why this hasty and vindictive action that has made waves around the market been taken at all? We don't hear of that. Remember, SEBI is a public body and a regulator which spends taxpayers' money or money collected as fees from market intermediaries. It is accountable. Now, let's look at long delays. A string of cases over here where people have got away only because SEBI took just too long. So there is a Kaushik Mehta case versus SEBI, person involved in synchronized trading and price manipulation in well-packed papers in November 2013. Order was passed in 2015. SAT did not like what the order said, sent it back to SEBI for a fresh look. SEBI took its time to appoint another adjudicating officer, appointed one only in 2018, and he upheld and issued another penalty, 1 lakh less, 5 lakhs. SAT was dissatisfied even with the second order. It halved the penalty even though it upheld SEBI's findings. Why should it take so long? Nobody is asking SEBI. Vasudev Kamath versus SEBI is another case. benefited from a SAT appeal. SEBI asked for a fresh decision, which was eventually quashed. SEBI's AO did a shoddy job, apparently even had contradictory findings in the order according to SAT. ICICI Bank, second largest bank, what does SEBI do? Either it is serious about acting or it's not. It took 8 years to even issue a show cause notice for a 1-day delay in disclosure. Obviously, SAT didn't like it. This happened even with Oasis Securities. It took a decade. SEBI pulled up the regulator in both cases and questioned why the long delay. Again, the benefit goes to those who have delayed disclosure. Fiduciary institutions. Now, this is an area which is extremely worrying. What are fiduciary institutions? These are people who have a responsibility to us, the investors. They include rating agencies. They include mutual funds. So we have covered NSE, we have covered Franklin Templeton in this study. But two cases that stand out, both are about rating agencies, Brickwork Ratings and Care Ratings. In both cases, they delayed the downgrade even after companies began to default. In Brickworks case, both were in different cases. What happened here was SAT said, there's just a small delay. So what if, they had taken a week's time? In one case, it was argued that there was a Diwali holiday. And so SAT slashed the penalty, failing to grasp that major investment decisions ride on the rating, not only by individuals, but by mutual funds. The amounts are huge. Even insurance companies look at ratings. This matter went to the Supreme Court and we had another bad order. I have a separate video blog on this. Those who are interested need to look at it. Then you have weak orders. In certain major cases, SEBI took early action, issued interim orders, had detailed investigations including forensic investigations, and then something went wrong. There were delays, enforcement action as well as show cause notices were extremely weak and wishy-washy. The most striking example is the Algo scam of 2015, which was broken by me at Money Life, involving the National Stock Exchange. It is still going on. Every order has been stayed. Some new orders continue to be issued 5 years later, and it's going nowhere. What does this do to investor confidence? It has a chilling impact because the perception is the regulator is unwilling to act and people get away. In fact, the findings of our study are very significant for everybody involved in financial markets who have to depend on regulators and appellate bodies to do their job correctly, because this is a risk that you take. Yes, capital markets is a risk-based investment, but it is a considered risk based on facts. And these facts include accurate credit ratings, accurate disclosures, timely disclosures, and accountability on the part of all market intermediaries. So there have to be checks and balances. Both SEBI as well as the appellate body need to be properly staffed, need to be accountable, and need to be questioned from time to time. Until then, things look rather bleak. If you agree, make a noise and spread the word, make people aware of what's going on. Thank you.